Are you looking to run Google Ads so you can start bringing in some leads and really start making some money? Well, then you've come to the right place. In today's video, I'm going to walk you through step by step on how to make a Google Ads search campaign that will bring you in high quality, sustainable leads. Now, first off, in order to create a Google Ads search campaign, we're going to need a Google Ads account. Now, in order to get a Google Ads account, you have to type in Google Ads to the search bar, scroll down here to Google Ads, and then click on the very first link we see. Now, all we have to do is hit Start Now, and then we're going to hit New Google Ads Account. If you don't have a Google Ads account already associated with your actual Gmail account, nothing's going to pop up here. It'll just send you directly into creating your account. So for this account, since we have a whole bunch of Google Ads account, I'm just going to hit New Google Ads Account. And what Google is going to try and do is get you into a smart campaign right away, because most people who don't know Google Ads are probably better off actually with a smart campaign. But for this tutorial, I want to switch you to expert mode so you can actually go and build out a campaign. That way you have more control over your actual account. With a smart campaign, you have very limited control over your actual campaign, and you're not really able to determine what keywords you want to go after, what advertising you want to show. It's very, very limited. So I highly suggest if you're going to build out any type of Google Ads campaign, switch it to expert mode. And all we have to do is hit switch to expert mode right there. And Google will send us immediately into building a new campaign. What we're going to do is create an account without a campaign so we can all get to the very same step right away. So I'm going to hit create an account without a campaign. Very easy to do. Google's going to ask you to enter in the debit or credit card you're going to be paying with right here. I already set mine up. So as you can see, it just asks for the actual billing country, time zone, and currency. Do we want personalized campaign guidance from a Google Ads expert? No, we're okay. And do we want tips? No. Make sure all of your time zone and billing is set up correctly. Same with your currency. If you set this up improperly, you're not going to be able to change this later on. So it's very important to set this up correctly right now. Make sure just to double check it. And then all we're going to have to do now is hit submit, and we have successfully created our account. Now all we have to do now is hit explore your new account, and our new account will pop up. Now, once we've created our Google Ads account, you're going to have two different screens. One, if it's brand new, it'll just say new campaign. If you already have a couple campaigns, you're going to have to come down here to the campaign section. And then all you're going to have to do is hit the big blue plus icon and then hit new campaign. And we're going to start making our new campaign now. So the first thing we have to determine with a new search campaign is what is our objective going to be? And that's really unique to every single campaign. For this campaign, we're going to base it off a service-based company, Elite Pools, who specialize in pool installation. So our main driver for this campaign is going to be getting in as many high quality sustainable leads as possible. So for this campaign objective, we're going to target leads. If you're doing e-commerce or trying to drive traffic to your website, whatever it is, your campaign objective can be different. Everyone's situation is unique, and you have to take all these factors into consideration when building out your own account. But again, for this campaign, we're going to go with leads because we want to bring in high quality sustainable customers for a long period of time. Now, the next thing is conversion tracking, and I don't really want to go into conversion tracking here because that could be a 40-hour video onto itself. There's so many great conversion tracking videos out there that really walk you through how to simply set up conversion tracking, whether or not you're using WordPress, a different CMS, landing pages, whatever it is. Conversion tracking can generally be set up pretty easily if you're using one of these big services. So for conversion tracking, what I do recommend for service-based businesses is having two sets of conversion goals. One is email leads. So when someone actually emails you, it tracks that and counts that as a lead. And then the second one is phone calls, which when someone actually calls you, it counts that also as a phone call lead. These can be set up in a variety of ways, but those are the two conversion goals I really think every campaign should have if you're running a service-based business. It's really easy to track, and it does a very good job at really getting the vast majority of these leads and keeping the entire process very simple, easy to understand, and very effective. So the next thing is once we have our conversion tracking set up, all we have to do is hit continue. And now we're going to select the campaign type. And for a search campaign, it's pretty simple. All we're going to have to do is hit search. There's a whole bunch of different types of campaigns. I generally recommend search for most service-based businesses. Search campaigns are really amazing because you're able to actually target keywords that people are searching for that have high buying intent. So for pool installation, we can target people who are searching for pool installation. This translates into very high quality leads. Sometimes search might be more expensive than video or display campaigns, but display and video campaigns can't target to the extent search campaigns can target for. So there's a trade-off there, but I really recommend search campaigns for most companies. They generally bring in amazing results. So we're just going to hit search campaign here. And for this one, we're going to select website visits and phone calls. And then we're going to type in our phone number and website here. And for our website, we typed in Elite Pools, and our phone number is this number for Elite pools, make sure to select your actual country. If you don't select the right country for this phone number, Google's not going to verify the phone number and your ads will not be eligible to run. So please make sure that is the right country there. Scrolling down, we're just going to type in the campaign name here, and we're going to type in pool installation because Elite Pools, they specialize in pool installation. And really for any company, I really think focusing on your most profitable services, that should be the way to go when it comes to Google Ads. Google Ads can be very expensive. However, if you have a service that you can make a lot of money on, you have more buffer room when it comes to the optimization period, because when you first start a Google Ads account, it's not going to run 100%. And there's going to be a lot of times where you're either breaking even or just making a little bit of money right at the beginning, because Google has to test all these things and make sure that, hey, these are the keywords we're going to be going after. Yes, you could have amazing keywords right off the bat, but sometimes Google Ads just doesn't work great right off the bat, and it may take a month or two to really get it working well and making a lot of money. So really target services that have high profit margins. It gives you more room for error. And generally, I see a lot of businesses, they'll target just everything. You really only want to target your top services, top 3 services. That's generally what I recommend. So for this one, we're going to do vinyl pools, fiberglass pools, and in-ground pools, which all of these are pool installation and they all have great profit margins on them. However, if you were doing like HVAC installation, you may not want to sell smart thermometers, or even for pools, you don't want to sell chlorine just because the profit margin isn't that high. Could you still do it profitably? Sure, but it's going to be a lot more work and you got to get a lot more technical with this stuff than if you were just selling pool installation. Pool installation, a lot more room for error, and it's going to make your life a lot easier selling these big ticket services as opposed to the smaller ticket services with less profit margin. So keep that in mind when coming up with a campaign name. I normally like to name the campaign name whatever we are selling as the overall goal. So it could be, if you're doing HVAC, could be HVAC. If you're doing fencing, it could be fencing. But the overall service that we want to sell, that's what I would name the campaign name. And then we're just going to hit continue. Now, the next part of the Google Ads search campaign is coming up with the bidding strategy. And there's a lot of different ideas and suggestions on how to actually go about starting your bidding strategy inside Google Ads. For us, I really like to collect as much data as possible in the early stages of starting a new Google Ads account. This data we can then transfer over to a automated bidding strategy like target CPA, maximize conversions, maximize ROIS. There's a lot of different bidding strategies that work excellent. However, if you don't have the data to go with these strategies, Google's AI is not going to be able to optimize very quickly. And most of the time, if you just started off in a automated bidding strategy like maximize conversions, it can waste a lot of ad spend or move very slowly. And I don't really like that strategy of just starting off in that bidding strategy. What I like to do is start it off and maximize clicks, get as much data as possible, and then after 30 or so conversions, switch it over to target CPA. That way you have a decent amount of data in the account. You can tell Google's AI, hey, this is what's working right now, and then Google's AI can optimize from there. This strategy works very well for service-based businesses, and I recommend it for most accounts. Now, how do we actually go about setting our strategy to maximize clicks? And that's pretty simple. We just leave it here as maximize clicks. If it's not already selected, you can scroll through here, see that maximize clicks is at the bottom, click it. And what's important here is to set a maximized cost per bid limit. This is going to be unique for everyone, but what we have to do is come over here to tools and settings and then come across here to keyword planner. We're going to hit discover new keywords, and then we're going to type in a couple keywords that we want to target. So pool insulation is definitely one. This shows very high buying intent. We can do fiberglass pool installation. We could do vinyl pool. Actually, let's do in-ground pool installation. That's fine. And really, these are going to be really unique for every single industry. And we just want to get a good idea of what keywords are out there and what we should actually be paying for each keyword. If you're struggling to come up with keywords to use, you could just add modifiers at the end of your service. So if you sell HVAC, if you sell fencing, you sell pools, it could be pool installation, HVAC installation, fencing installation. You could put HVAC services, HVAC company near me, stuff like this that shows high buying intent. We really only want to go after keywords that show buying intent from the customer's perspective. We don't want to go after vague keywords like pools, HVAC, fencing. These keywords generally lead to things we don't want, because people who target vague keywords like HVAC, you're going to get people who are looking for companies that are hiring, DIY, tech support. This is not stuff we want to go after. These are not keywords we want to bid on. We only want to bid on stuff that shows buying intent. And since we have a limited budget, this is generally the best way to go about it. Adding these modifiers to the end of these words like installation, services near me, companies near me, stuff like this that will really help you dial in on the customers we want to target. So the next thing is we actually have to modify this for our area. So as you can see down here, it says Canada. We're going to click on this and then add in the advertising locations we're actually going to advertise in. So let's do Toronto, Hamilton, and Mississauga. So Toronto, Hamilton, and Mississauga. Once we've selected all the areas we want to advertise in, we can just hit save, and then we can hit get results. If you don't geo-modify that, by the way, all of these numbers are going to be wrong, so please make sure you geo-modify that. Now, as you can see here, we have a whole bunch of monthly search results. I normally like having at least 3 search results in the range of 1,000 searches to 10,000 searches a month. This is pool installation in Canada, so that's why it's low. However, you should normally have 1 to 10,000 searches on at least a few of your keywords. That just shows there's enough searches here, which is going to make your account sustainable over the long term. So please make sure that is there when coming up with these keywords. The next thing is the actual top of page bid, low range and high range. What I used to recommend is actually finding the highest top of page bid range and then adding the bottom number up, dividing by 2. What I've seen is a lot of people do this and the actual average is a little too low and they have to bump it up by a couple dollars. What I do recommend now is just finding the highest range. So this one is going to be the highest range on average. We can scroll through here, see if there's any other words. We'll expand this out. All right, and scroll down. Most of the stuff anywhere at $4, $12, $29. As you can see here, this is kind of an outlier. And if we scroll across, what keyword is this? Swimming pool installers near me. This is kind of an outlier. As you can see, everything's in the range of $10 to, $15 right around there. And you got to use your own judgment here, $14. I would take that $15 because that's really the highest average number we can find. And then we'll set that as our maximum cost per bid limit, which is nice. And we can go from there. Make sure to set a maximum cost per bid limit. Otherwise, Google may sometimes get really happy and just spend all your money in one click. That's not something we want to do. We want to set a maximum cost per bid limit saying, hey, Google, we don't want to spend any more money than that. Set it at this and we're good to go. Once we've done that, I would recommend writing this number down. So $15. This will allow us to come up with the actual budget later. And now all we have to do is hit next. And now we're going to come to campaign settings. And this is a very important part to actually make sure all your settings are set up correctly. What we're going to do is turn this off, turn this off. And the reason for that is if you had low search volume, search network can definitely be worthwhile. And sometimes it's even a great way to expand the actual Google search results for even better results. But most of the time, Google search network isn't as monitored as Google's organic search platform. And this means there's quite a bit more click fraud on it. And the actual results aren't always as great. Sometimes they are great, but sometimes they're not. Most of the time they're not great, and that's generally one of the principles we follow. And we recommend normally not starting a campaign off with the search network enabled, just because we don't find that great of results. Can you A/B test this later on? Absolutely, especially if you have low search volume, go right ahead with that. But for most campaigns, I don't think you need it, especially if your search volume is good. The next thing is the display network. This is absolutely awful, and I don't know any reason you would ever want to use this. If you want a display campaign, go ahead and make a display campaign. With the display network here, you're not going to have any control over it, and you're really just going to waste money and leave all of the actual automation up to Google. That's not what we want to do. We want to have some control over this. The display network, this is one of the things in Google that I absolutely despise. And really only one of the written in stone laws I follow, which is don't enable this. It's terrible. There's a lot of things in Google Ads I don't always agree with, but this is one of the things almost every single person who's in Google Ads can agree on. The display network is not good. I would disable this. You're just going to waste money. Again, if you want a display campaign, go ahead and make one, but make it separate. Don't include it in the actual search campaign. So now we've come to locations, and what we're going to do is actually enter in the locations we want to advertise for. So you can set this as a radius or as a location. So for this one, you could do, let's say we're pool installation, we do a 50-mile radius. You can literally just use the pin. We could hit Mississauga, and as you see, it's set for 20 miles here, and then just hit target. And this is nice. It allows you to do a 20-mile radius, which a lot of companies like because they don't really care what city they're going to be advertising in as long as it's relatively close so they can actually get to the job. If you want to just enter the actual cities, so let's do Mississauga, we'll do Toronto, and we'll do Hamilton. And these are all cities in Canada, if you didn't know. I would recommend adding in the excluded locations as well. So we're not going to advertise in Guelph. So all we have to do is just hit exclude. As you can see, it excludes Guelph. I would go around here and essentially exclude all the areas we don't want to target. And this is because Google will still sometimes target locations, even if they're not excluded. It doesn't do a whole lot, but it does do a little bit. So I would take the time to go in and actually exclude these locations. It does seem to help a little bit when it comes to wasted ad spend. So I'd go around here and exclude the locations we weren't going to be targeting. Once you've done all that, you've selected the locations and the excluded locations, all you have to do is hit save. And we're going to come down here to the actual location options. If this isn't selected, just select this. As you can see, we have presence or interest, presence, and search interest. We want to just do presence because we only want to advertise to people who are actually in these targeted locations. We don't want to target people who are interested in these locations. So if someone's in New York City, we don't want to advertise to them just because they're looking for pools in Toronto. That's not what we want to do. If you were selling cars, or maybe you were selling hotels, something like that, or car rentals, that could be useful. But for this one, we're just going to select presence. The next thing is the actual exclusion location options. And we're going to hit presence or interest. And this is because we don't want to show people who are interested in our excluded locations our actual ads. So someone could theoretically be in Toronto, but they're looking for pool installation in Guelph. And since it's an excluded location, Google would still show them our ad. That's not what we want. So make sure to hit presence or interest. That's a little tricky thing Google does. I don't really like it, but it does it anyway. So make sure to select that. The next thing is languages. You can add in any language you want. You could add in, Chinese, Croatian, whatever you want. Just check it off. I would recommend, if you're going to have multiple languages, build out separate campaigns. It allows you to more easily optimize it, because if you have one campaign that's performing better than another campaign, maybe the French campaign just performs very well compared to the English campaign. If they were all in the same campaign, it's going to be absolutely a nightmare to actually optimize all this. So I'd recommend building them out in separate campaigns. It'll make your life a whole bunch easier. The next thing is audience segments. So we're going to come down here to audience segments. And then make sure this is set to observation mode. We just want to collect data right now. Later on, month 2, 3, 4, you could set this to targeting if you want, if you have a lot of search volume. However, right now, we don't actually know what's going to convert. I would add in as many relevant audience segments as possible. So pools and spas. Let's just type in pools here and see what pops up. Pools and spas. We could even do garden. Maybe we could even do outdoor structures, home and garden, maybe landscape design, and really just go through here and add in as many relevant audience segments. Even if they're just loosely related, add them in. Google's not going to do any targeting based on the actual audience segments you've added. It's just going to collect data and tell you like, hey, this audience segment is doing a little bit better than this audience segment. And maybe you want to increase the actual bid amount later on. But I would go in, you can even hit browse and segment audiences by demographics, affinity, in market. There's a whole bunch of options. So I would take your time, go through here and just add in the audiences you want to add in. We're going to come down here to more settings, and we're going to look at ad rotation. We're going to leave this as it is. Early on in Google's life, optimization for ad rotation was terrible. However, it's gotten a lot better. Essentially what Google would do way back when was it would just find an ad, even if the ad wasn't good. It would just run it continuously, even if it was getting bad results. And people really came to not like Google Ads optimize ad rotation. So there's still people to this day who just will not run it. However, I think it's gotten a lot better, and really that's all we use for our ads. If there's something really wrong with an ad and we can't get it working, we might put it into do not optimize just to see if anything's weird with Google Ads optimize ad rotation. But for the vast majority of people, leave it in optimize, it'll be fine. We're going to continue down. We're going to set our ad schedule. I recommend for most people run Mondays to Fridays. Let's do 8 o'clock till 1700. Let's 5 o'clock. So 8 o'clock till 5 o'clock. I would do Monday to Fridays working hours. And this is because the quicker you can get back to a lead, the higher the closing rate is and the more likely you are to make a sale. If you make a customer wait and say you get a lead on Saturday and you don't return the call till Monday, chances are they'll go find someone else to actually help them. So it's very important to respond to leads quickly. And I know a lot of companies, they just run 24/7 and they lose a lot of money because they are not able to get back to their potential customers quick enough. You can also test Saturday and Sunday, but I find that people on the weekend have a lot more time on their hands. They'll look through multiple quotes as opposed to people on Mondays to Fridays where they don't have as much time. They're at work or they have other priorities and they really just need the first person they can find. And generally Mondays to Fridays convert a lot better than Saturdays and Sundays. So that's what I would recommend. If you want to add in Saturdays and Sundays and test that, you absolutely can. Just hit add and then go from there. We're going to continue down to more settings. And we're going to set a start and end date. If you want to add an end date, you absolutely can. For this one, you could just come over here, hit that, and then maybe we only want it to run to the 29th. We absolutely can. That way, the campaign just turns off and you are good to go from there. We're just going to hit none for this one because I know how to get back into the actual account. If you don't know how to get back into Google Ads, that's completely fine. Oh, you can set an end date. That way, you're not going to spend a whole bunch of money and waste it. Campaign URL options, we're not going to be tracking anything. This is if you actually need to send data to anything. It's good for third-party tracking services, but we're not going to be doing any of that in this campaign, so we can ignore it. Dynamic search ads, we're going to skip that because we have no super large website to draw data from. And if you don't have a super large website where everything's indexed on Google, I would recommend just avoiding dynamic search ads. They do need a lot of data, and your website does need to be indexed, so please make sure all that's set before actually using dynamic search ads, or else your ads will perform very poorly. We're going to hit next. All right, the next thing we're going to do is focus on our keywords and ads. And what we want to do inside of our Google Ads campaign is theme our ads and keywords as tightly together as possible. And what this means is when we have a keyword, say in-ground pool installation, the ad associated with that keyword also says in-ground pool installation. The reason why this is important is, one, we have a higher click-through rate because when someone types in-ground pool installation, they see our ad and it's very similar to what they typed in. They're more likely to click on it. The other reason for this is Google assigns a quality score to every single keyword, and essentially the higher the quality score we have, the more likely Google is to discount our cost per click and allow us to get more leads inside of our campaign. So it's very important to let Google know, hey, our keywords are very similar to our ads, therefore you should give us a higher quality score. Ads play a factor in it, keywords play a factor in it, landing page experience plays a factor in it. There's a lot of factors, but keywords and ads greatly affect our quality score. So it's very important to theme our keywords and ads together and as tightly as possible. Now, the first thing we're going to do here is actually name our ad groups. Let's name this fiberglass pool installation, fiberglass pool installation. All you have to do to name that is click on the little pencil icon here. And now what we can do is actually scroll down here. It's already auto-generated a list of keyword ideas from our website. I generally don't like doing this because I find it can just pull a whole bunch of keywords that really aren't relevant. And most of these aren't all that relevant. So what I'm going to do is just select all and delete these, and then come up here to products and service and type in fiberglass pool installation, and then get suggested keywords. You can also do this with the keyword tool, and I would really suggest watching our video. I'll link in here on the actual keyword planner and how to find high buying intent keywords that sell. I have an entire video on how to actually do that and build out ad groups. I would highly recommend watching that if you are looking at making multiple ad groups, and I think that will help a significant amount. Now, what we're going to do here is scroll through here, and we're going to remove everything right off the bat that doesn't contain the word fiberglass, because if it doesn't contain the word fiberglass, we don't want to go after it in this actual ad group because it won't be themed close enough. So we want everything to say fiberglass. Just like when we do a in-ground pool installation ad group, we want everything to say in-ground pool installation. So everything's tightly themed together. Now, you could break this down even further. You could have an ad group that says fiberglass pool prices, cost, installation. You could break this down into multiple different ad groups if you really wanted to. Depends on your scenario, right? How much time you have. Fiberglass swimming pool, that doesn't really have a high buying intent with it. Let's do for sale. That could be. Let's just leave it as, we'll find fiberglass pool installation. We'll do fiberglass in-ground pool installation. That's fine. We'll do fiberglass pool installer, pool prices. That's fine. Pool installation. That's fine. Cost. We'll get rid of fiberglass pool. That's a little, there we go. And I think that's good. What I would recommend doing is putting brackets around every single one of these keywords. As you can see below here, right here, it says broad match, phrase match, and exact match. These are 3 different match types, and these will greatly affect how much your ads are shown and how lenient Google Ads is with showing your ads. For most people who are new to starting Google Ads, I would recommend starting with exact match, which means putting brackets around them. And this is because Google is going to be very strict with when it shows your ads, and you're really only going to pop up for these keywords. Can you pop up for certain things that are slightly outside this? Absolutely yes, but a lot less than if you were using phrase or broad match. So this is a very good way to not waste a lot of money, especially if you're new to this. If you are pretty experienced, you can absolutely go ahead and use phrase match with exact match or just phrase match, whatever you want to do. I would generally stay away from broad match, as I find this really too lenient for a lot of campaigns. If you're really struggling for search volume, you absolutely can use broad match, but for most campaigns, I would suggest not using broad match. Now we're going to scroll down here to our ads, and we're going to type in final URL. This is where we actually want to send our traffic to. I generally recommend using a landing page, as these convert at a much higher rate than a normal website. However, it's up to you where you send your traffic. What we have to do here for the display path is actually I would enter in fiberglass pools. I want to make this as similar to our target keyword as possible. For this ad group, it's fiberglass pool installation. So we'll do fiberglass pool installers, that's close enough. We can't fit installation, but installers is fine. So we'll do fiberglass pool installers. And then we're going to come down here to our headlines. And we really want to see everything reflective of fiberglass pool installation. We want to put fiberglass pool installation. That should be our first keyword, because we want to be very close to this. What I would also recommend doing is hitting this little key here, as you can see, little squiggly thing here, and then we would put keyword insertion. This is a very nice headline to have, because if someone types in something very similar, but say it's fiberglass pool installers, we can actually show our ad that says fiberglass pool installers, and it'll just auto generate that with the keyword insertion. It's a very nice little trick to have. I really like doing this. And then the default text, so say this doesn't trigger, we can just put, I would put this in title case. We'll put fiberglass pool installers, just in case the keyword thing doesn't trigger. We'll hit apply. So in case this actually doesn't trigger, fiberglass pool installers will just show up instead. And Google is going to cycle all of these headlines, by the way. So it's going to just keep testing until you find something that works well for you. Let's do elite pool. So the name of your business is also a good one. What I like doing here is adding a whole bunch of calls to action. So get a free quote now, and let them know what's going to happen after they actually click on your ad. Are they going to get a quote? Are they going to schedule an assessment? What is going to happen? So that's good to do. We'll put get a assessment now, get an assessment. We could do 2-year warranty, certified installers, and just a few more reasons why they should pick you. So I break ads down into 3 things. 1, identifying the problem the person has. So pool installation, you could have looking for pool installation, wanting to install a pool, just pool installation, which is our general keyword. And then giving them a reason to buy. So 2-year warranty, certified installers, we can have your pool in within 2 weeks. These are reasons to buy from us, and then give them a call to action on what actually happens now. Get a free quote now, schedule a free assessment. By breaking your ads down into these 3 parts, it really helps with 1, keeping your ads strong and above your actual competition, because you actually have a plan going forward on what your ads are going to look like, so you can alter the actual parts that aren't working and optimize them. And also, this strategy works very well for service-based businesses in our experience. So I really enjoy using this method. I would go out and continue adding headlines, add 15 out of 15 headlines here, and then allow Google Ads to test all this. I have 3 ads in every single ad group. This allows Google the most amount of testing and will generally bring you the best results. So fill out 15 out of 15 headlines, and then create 3 ads in every single ad group. The next part is the actual descriptions. What we want to do here is give them more reasons to buy, and also end it off with a call to action. So, all right, so I just went ahead and filled these out. Again, you can see here, we are identifying the problem, giving them a reason to buy, and then ending off with a call to action here. So fiberglass pool installation experts, certified and insured, call now for a free quote. Easy and professional pool installation to make your life easy and hassle-free, call now. Professional fiberglass pool installers, over 20 years of experience, call now for a free quote. All these are actually tested and they work very well, so I'm going to go ahead and use them. If you don't like coming up with ads, by the way, we have a product here. It's called the Google Ads Done For You bundle. It comes with headlines, extensions, keywords, and negatives, everything to add to your actual campaign. The link for that is down below. It's very useful. It just allows you to build out ads a lot quicker, and you don't really have to think about it as much. You still got to come up and customize little things here and there, but it will save you a whole bunch of time. But if you don't want to do that, absolutely go ahead and just fill these out. Make sure it's 4 out of 4 descriptions here. I only have 3 or 4 just for the sake of time. And then we're just going to come down here to done. We're not going to fill out any of these extensions, because it will fill out at the ad group level, which is a real pain. I prefer doing it at the campaign level. It makes your life a lot easier. So we're just going to hit done here, and then we're going to hit next. And now it's saying we should set our budget at $22. What I would recommend doing is multiplying your maximum cost per click bid limit by 5, because for 5 clicks, generally you can get a 20% conversion rate pretty easily. So for every 5 clicks, we get 1 lead at a 20% conversion rate. So 15 times 5 is $75. So what we can do is come down here to set custom budget, type in $75, and then I would add a couple pennies after this. So let's do 15 cents. Because it is an auction, and that 15 cents will make a difference. If you want to do 6, 7, 8, 9 times this, absolutely you can, instead of just the multiplied by 5, especially if your conversion rate is lower. If it's 5 or 10%, you may need to multiply it by 10 instead of just 5. It's really unique to your own situation, but I would recommend trying to get at least 1 lead a day. That way you can optimize and switch your campaign over from a maximize click strategy to target CPA after around a month of running your campaign. This makes life a lot easier and will allow you to get a lot better results a lot quicker. So that's something to keep in mind. Once we're happy with our set budget, we just hit next. And now we're going to review the campaign. As you can see, it says we want more keywords, we want, more ad groups. Absolutely, we're going to do all that. But this is important to note, just to make sure there's no errors. We didn't forget anything. This is just a good overview of everything. Once we're happy with this, all we have to do is hit next. It may even come up with the extensions error. It may say like, hey, we want to show more extensions. You didn't actually make any extensions. Why not? Because we're going to add that in a second. Now, all we have to do is come down here to publish campaign, and now we have successfully created our first search campaign. What I would do right off the bat is actually pause this, because if you're going to actually build this out for quite a bit, it may be better off just to pause it and then turn it back on at the end of this. That's what I like doing when building a brand new campaign. If you already have a campaign that's been running for a long time, don't pause it. Turn it down to $1 a day just so you're not spending the money, because generally the results will be substantially decreased. So be very cautious when pausing campaigns, but because this is brand new, it really doesn't matter. So what we're going to do right now is actually build out more ads. So this is actually a pretty simple process. All we have to do is come into our campaign here, hit ads and assets, come down here to ads, and then we're just going to literally check this off, hit edit, hit copy, and then just paste this. And it'll come up, yeah, we want to paste this in pool installation into fiberglass, hit done, pause, yep, hit paste. This is literally going to double out the ad and will save you a whole bunch of time. Instead of actually having to create a brand new ad every single time, it will literally allow you to just copy and paste ads, saving you a ton of time inside Google Ads. So now that this is pasted, we're going to do this one more time because we need 3 ads inside of every ad group. So Google can A/B test all of this. Again, doing the exact same thing, checking these 2 things off, check, paste, and this will copy out one more time. Now, as you can see here, we have 3 different ads, and we're going to come into each of them and change some stuff up. So again, this should have 15 headlines in every single one of these ads. And really, we're going to come in here and change a few things. We're not going to change a whole bunch, but I would recommend having 2 new descriptions in this, and then probably 5 to 7 new headlines. So maybe instead of fiberglass pool installation, we put maybe fiberglass pool installers. I would probably leave that keyword, the automatic keyword, in there. That's fine. We'll put, instead of get a free quote now, we could do call now for a free quote. I would just keep changing this up. Find out new calls to actions, and maybe instead of an assessment, we could do book today for your free consultation or your consultation. That's fine. Certified installers, we could change with award-winning. We could change with award-winning pool installation. We could even put fiberglass pool installation if it fit, but it doesn't, so that's okay. Award-winning pool. Let's put pool installers. Actually, we could probably put fiberglass pools. Can we do that? Fiberglass. I can't spell today. Pools. Perfect. So award-winning fiberglass pools. Again, 15 out of 15 headlines here, 2 different descriptions. So let's come up with 2 different descriptions here. So I'm going to replace this one. Let's do fiberglass pool installation. We'll put tier 1 changes. We'll get rid of certified. And we'll put experts. Fiberglass pool installation experts. That's awesome. I would change 1 more out of this, especially if we had 4. But again, for the sake of time, I don't want to bore you to death. Change 2 out of the 4 here, and then go ahead, hit save ad, and you're good to go. Sometimes this will still say poor in that top right corner there. That's an indication of how strong Google thinks your ad is. If you copy and paste these quickly, Google may not update, and for whatever reason, the actual quality of the ad, what Google thinks it is, will stay as poor. It may take a day to actually adjust. I find this when we're copying out ad groups to take anywhere from, a couple hours to 24 hours. It should update and you should be fine. Now we're going to come down here and actually turn that ad on. And then we're going to come over here to this ad, which we haven't adjusted yet. And we're going to change a couple headlines as well. We will change out, get a free quote now. We could do, for this one, let's do local pool installers, see how that performs. Because we already have this here. So if this actually defaults, it'll just go to fiberglass pool installers. That's fine. As long as we have the keyword somewhere in here, I'm not too concerned about that. Get a free assessment now. We could change this out as well. We could do give us a call today. Again, I would change out probably anywhere from 5 to 7 of these headlines and continue testing. Again, same thing with the descriptions. Find 2 new descriptions out of the 4 and then go ahead and try and test those. I don't like changing too much, because if you find a winning ad, you don't want to change the whole new ad. At the very beginning, you can test a lot of stuff and it's kind of fine, but later on, as we optimize this, we don't want to move our ads too far, because if it's already winning, I like only adjusting little parts just so it stays winning and you're not going to have a massive detriment if you change a couple things. So it's good to know. Once we're done with that, hit save ad and we're good to go. We have 3 ads. Turn this ad on and now our ads are now active. Now we have to come over here to assets, which is below ads, and we actually have to come up with our extensions. And this is very important. And what a lot of people skip out on is actually making these ads, partially because it takes a lot of time. However, the bigger we can make our ad, the more likely it is to be seen, the more likely it is to be seen, the more likely it is to be clicked on. Higher click-through rates lead to higher quality scores. Higher quality scores lead to lower cost per clicks, and lower cost per clicks lead to more leads and more clicks and more account success. So it's very important to create all of these extensions. Now, as you can see here, we have site link extensions, call out extensions, structured snippet extensions, call extensions, and there's a whole bunch. I'm going to walk you through a handful of these. Normally, I recommend going with location, call, structured snippet, call out, and site link. Normally, you don't really need a price extension unless your product or service is completely dependent on price. I would recommend avoiding price. I would recommend avoiding promotion. Generally, people who are looking for promotions, looking for price, they're looking for the cheapest deal, and that's not somewhere we want to compete in. We want to compete on high quality and actually having someone who's willing to pay a higher price for a better quality. That's where I like to compete. So again, location, call, call out extensions. These are essentially the ones we're going to be going with. So we're going to type in site link extension. So for the first extension, the site link extensions, what these do are essentially extensions that Google allows to click on these links and they send you to different parts of your website. What I like to do here is really give more reasons as to why they should buy, or certain parts of the actual website they may be interested in. So you could talk about, award-winning pools, testimonials, previous works, your warranty policy. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you could talk about and reasons why people should buy. Maybe they're more interested in your warranty, maybe they're more interested in your awards or certifications, whatever it is. You can give more reasons here, and they're pretty easy to do. All you actually have to do is type in, let's do award-winning pools, since we're doing the actual pool installation here, award-winning pools, and then we could do the description, take a look at our amazing works. And the description just goes below the actual award-winning pools. Your extensions don't always pop up, which is important to note. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. It really comes down to whether or not Google wants to show your extensions and give you that little bit more space. And really that's up to Google and how good your quality score is. So keep in mind, these won't always show, but these, again, are very important to make your ad as big as possible. I'm just going to go ahead, fill these in, and then come back. All right, so I went ahead and built out some site link extensions. As you can see here, award-winning pools, take a look at our amazing pools, over 15 awards issued in 2022, and then it just links to wherever on our website we want to bring this person to. So I'd make sure wherever we send this individual, it's very relevant. Preferably, I would have like an award-winning pool section on this website. It doesn't actually have that, but that's what I would do. The second site link is certified installers, pool installation experts, certified by the PHTCC, and then it's the about page, lifetime guarantee, and then it could go into the actual guarantee of our pools. All pools are lifetime guaranteed. The fourth one, I actually really like having a contact us or talk to an expert. This is really nice. It's just another call to action I always add in for our site links. It's just a nice thing to have. Create your dream backyard, looking to build your dream pool. That could have been looking to talk to an expert as well. And then just to our contact page. Very simple, very easy to understand. Just give more reasons as to why you want this person to actually click on your website. Give them more reasons to want to buy. One important thing to note is the actual campaign. We want to add this to the campaign level. We do not want to add this to the ad group level. You could add it to the account level, but if you ever want to build out different services, this kind of becomes a pain. So I would build this out at the campaign level. I like it that way. I think it's the best. So let's move forward and hit save. You could also add it to the actual ad group level if you want, but it's up to you. Some circumstances call for the ad group level, but most of the time you can get away with campaign. The next thing we're going to build out is our actual call out extensions, and we're going to give reasons as to why people should buy. Further reasons, this is just to highlight our offering. So very short, very quick to the point why they should buy us. Lifetime guarantee, hundreds of testimonials, award-winning, stuff like that. This highlight why they should buy from you. Normally you want at least 10 call out extensions. I'm just going to build out 4 here, and then you can have an idea of what you should build out in your own campaign. Again, put this at the actual campaign level. It's much easier that way. All right, so I went ahead and filled out all the call extensions. As you can see here, local service, trusted for over 20 years, award-winning pools, immediate response 24/7, lifetime guaranteed. These are all great things you can say and highlight on why people should purchase your service or go with you. Again, fill out all of these. You really want at least 10 in here so Google can rotate all of them. Google can show up to 10 call out extensions at any given time, so please make sure you have at least 10 of them. Make sure to add it to your campaign level, possibly ad group level, depending on your actual situation, maybe even account. It's up to you, really. I prefer the campaign level. It's just a lot easier that way. For advanced options, I would leave this unchanged. This is just allowing your call out extensions to show at certain times. This is really micromanaging, and I think it's too in depth for a lot of people to manage successfully. And I think it just screws up your campaign for most people, because this is just something else to go wrong in Google Ads. So I would leave that to just run as whenever your ads are normally going to run. So I wouldn't change that. So all we're going to have to do now is hit save. And as you can see, we've successfully set up our call extensions. The next one is going to be the structured snippet extensions. Essentially what this is a list. So you could have styles, brands, just a list of something. So you could name out all of the brands you have inside of your business. You can name out all the different styles of pools. There's a lot of stuff you can name. So I'm going to go in here and actually hit the big blue plus icon again. We're going to make sure this is set to campaign. We're going to hit create new. And then for the header section, let's go to types. So we can do types of pools. We can do vinyl pools, in-ground pools, fiberglass pools. And really, this is going to be really particular to your own company and service. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff you could put in here. You just got to get creative with it. Brands, courses, degree programs, neighborhoods. So you could do areas you actually service. You could do service catalogs, all the different services you offer, different styles, different types of things. It's really up to you. I'd make sure to have 2 structured snippet extensions in your account. So I would save this and then add another one. And this is because Google can then A/B test these 2, which is a nice thing to have. The next thing we're going to do is come over here to call extensions, and then we're going to hit the big blue plus icon. We're going to make sure to add our phone number, and again, make sure this is the correct country you're in, or else it will not correctly verify, and that's going to lead to a whole bunch of issues. So make sure this is the correct country. Campaign level is selected. Use account settings, that's fine. We're not going to change the bid adjustment right now because we don't have any data on this, whether or not it's useful or not. And this is just a nice little link below here. So instead of actually clicking on your website, if someone just wants to call you directly, they can, which is a nice thing to do. And as you can see here, our ad is getting quite large. So this is very good because the bigger our ad is, again, the more likely someone is to see it, the higher the click-through rate, lower cost per click, all that good stuff. That's what we're aiming for. And we want our ad as big as possible. Once we successfully put in our phone number, all we have to do is hit save. And the call extension is pretty easy to do, as you can see. The final one we're going to do is the actual location extension. And the location extension can be added in a variety of ways. It could be added through the business profile manager, selected locations, a link to a business profile manager. There's a lot of ways you can actually do this. I'm not going to do this for this one, but because there's so many different variants of it. But go ahead, add that, and then you will actually have a location. So if someone actually wants to come to your location or your business, they can just click on the location, and it will essentially send them to Google Maps so they can actually get detailed instructions on how to get to your business location. Not every business needs this, especially if you don't have any physical location. I would leave that out, but if you do have a physical location, it's a nice thing to add. So now we are done with the actual extensions, and our campaign is essentially good to go. Now, one important thing I would recommend doing is coming in here to ad groups. Since we've already added all of our ads inside this ad group, what I would do is consider copying this ad group. So we're going to come over here, we're going to check it off, we're going to hit copy, we're going to hit paste, and we're going to copy this out. And I'm going to show you one time how to actually do this. So it will save you a whole bunch of time inside your Google Ads account when you want to add in new ad groups. So you don't actually have to build out every single new ad group from scratch. This will save you a whole bunch of time inside Google Ads. And it's something we do inside of our accounts. We also use our tool. We also have a few tools we use. You can check them out below in our Gumroad store that helps make the process a bit easier. But this is a very, very good way, especially if you don't have any of those tools, to really save a lot of time inside Google Ads. All right, as you can see, we have the new fiberglass pool installation number 2 ad group. What I'm going to do here is put in-ground pool installation, and this is going to be our second ad group. What I would recommend for everyone doing this is essentially you're going to have anywhere from like probably 2 to 5 services that are all really similar, and you can go after different keywords. So what I recommend for every single campaign is that you have multiple ad groups. This way you can target variety of different keywords. So you can go after in-ground pool installation, fiberglass pool installation, vinyl pool installation. And you can have very relevant ad copy. And the more relevant we can make our ad copy, the better our ads are going to perform, the better our keywords are going to perform, and we're going to get more leads. Normally, an account can have, for a service-based account, anywhere from 2 to 5 ad groups, I would say, starting at the beginning. As your account continues, you're going to grow, you're going to find new keywords, you're going to add new ad groups. So I would start off with anywhere from 2 to 5 ad groups and build out from there, especially if you're brand new to Google Ads. To find new keywords, we're actually going to come back to the keyword planner and go through here and find keywords that actually have search volume. If you have keywords that have no search volume whatsoever, there's no point in targeting them because your ads aren't going to pop up and it's just a waste of time to actually make ads for these. So please make sure there's an actual average monthly search volume around them. I have an entire video of this. I'll link up above that covers the keyword research, how to do it effectively, and essentially how to build up more ad groups. That's a 10-minute video. It goes into much more depth than what I'm going to do here, and it gives you a better idea. But essentially what I'm going to do here is scroll through here and find high buying intent keywords. So we're going to build out in-ground pool installation. We just did fiberglass pool installation, so we could do in-ground pool cost. And if we click on this actual ad group here that we just created, we're going to see all the keywords we did. A lot of these keywords can just be changed. Let's do in-ground pool installation because that's our main keyword here. A lot of them can just be changed. So as you can see here, fiberglass pool cost, we can just do in-ground pool cost instead of having to come up with brand new ideas. And this is why keyword research is important. A lot of this, again, can just be changed out with in-ground pool installation. Let's see, in-ground. I'll actually put a dash here because they actually do sometimes make a difference when it comes to dashes. In pool prices, there we go. We can get rid of that. Cool. Fiberglass Ontario pools. Let's do in-ground pool Ontario. Cool. Pool installer. And then let's do fiberglass in-ground. What is this? There are two here. Fiberglass in-ground pool installation. Let's do services. In-ground pool. Actually, in-ground pool company. Installation company. There we go. Installation company. Cool. And again, you should go through here and find actual keywords that are very good and very high buying intent. In-ground pool cost, there's search volumes here. That's good. Let's see what else. In-ground pool prices. That's good. Let's see. In-ground pool installation near me. That's good. We could add that. As you can see, this is going to take a lot of time, and it does pay off quite well if you do this properly. Like I said, again, go check out the video. It's a much better in-depth guide on what I'm doing here, and it will show you actually how to build out keywords ad groups properly, but this is just a nice little way to show you how to build out ad groups very quickly as opposed to having to create brand new things. Now what I'm going to do here is come back here to ads. Since we're in the actual in-ground pool installation ad group, which we just made, this is super important to do. What we have to do is actually come in here and change out all of the ad copy because it currently says fiberglass pool installation for our ad. And we don't want that. We want in-ground pool installation. So we have to come over here. We'll change the display path, in-ground pool installation. That's fine. We'll do in-ground pool installation. Cool. Installers. Cool. Actually, I'll replace that with installers instead. That's good. I'm just going to go ahead here and switch out a few of the keywords and then I'll come back. All right, so I went ahead and you don't actually need to change out all that much. The only real thing you have to change out here is the main keywords we're targeting. So in-ground pool installation, in-ground pool installers. The company name can stay the same. The calls to action, they can all stay the same. The reasons to buy, they can all stay the same. But we have to make sure we include our target keyword. That way we have a higher quality score. So as you can see here, in-ground pool installation experts. Let's put a dash there so it looks better. In-ground pool installation, good. In-ground pool installers, good. And just changing out fiberglass to in-ground will make a big difference. So it's very important to do this. Then all we have to do is hit save ad. And then we just go on to the next one and the next one. And it's pretty easy to do. I think you guys will get the point there. Go in, change out fiberglass to all these ads. Now, once you've changed out these ads, you can build out a few more ad groups. And then all you have to do is come back here to your actual campaign. Make sure your ad groups and ads are actually turned on. So make sure this is actually turned on. And then when we come over here to our pool installation campaign, you'll see it as green here. And then once we're happy with the amount of ads we have, the ad groups we have, and the amount of keywords, All we have to do now is turn this back on. So the actual campaign, turn this back on, and you can just hit this to turn this back on. One important thing that is absolutely essential to your account is being able to optimize this account properly. Now, what we do with our accounts is we have a Google Ads optimization checklist. The link for this is down below with a video that will show you exactly how to optimize your entire campaign month after month. It goes over what you should do on a weekly, monthly, 3-month basis, and then your actual results listed down below. All of this is absolutely amazing, and it will help you out tremendously and allow your account to grow and stay ahead of the competition. I really recommend anyone who's going to actually be doing Google Ads for the long run, check this out. It will help you out tremendously and will help your account stay ahead again of your competition. Now, once you've turned on your campaign, everything is good to go. You should start getting results in 24 to 48 hours. Now, I do have one massive favor to ask you, and that is to hit the like button. I put a ton of time and work into this video, and I really think it's an amazing video that will help a lot of people out with Google Ads. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up button. That will help our YouTube channel grow, and I can make more, tutorials and show you guys how to actually run Google Ads properly. If you didn't like this video and you absolutely hated it, hit the dislike button. That's all good. You can do whatever you want. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave a comment down below. I'd be happy to answer it. Other than that, you guys make sure to check out the Google Ads optimization checklist. It's absolutely awesome. It will help out just about anyone using Google Ads. Other than that, though, you guys have a wonderful day and take care, and make sure to get the Google Ads optimization checklist and hit the thumbs up button. Take care.